So I think there's one more thing I'd like to show you in this section. And
Okay.
so can you go to the person class?
Yes.
Okay. Now here we have a short version of a read-only property in name.
Yes.
And what I'd like to do is I'd like to, first of all, I'm going to make this have a getter and a setter to show a feature, which is expression body members are available more places. And the second thing, I'm going to show you two things here. So can you go ahead and put the getter onto a new line, and we'll do, just make that kind of the long version of the getter. So add a private variable.
Yeah, so we'll do like up here we'll do private. Is it a string?
It's a string.
Name.
Huh?
And down here in the getter we'll say that our private variable name is equal to the value.
Okay, that'd be fine. That's a setter, but we'll do the getter and the setter.
Derp, derp, derp.
Okay, so yeah, let's do that. And then let's do the setter, which is the one you just tried to create.
Yes, which is, yeah, I wasn't thinking.
Super. Okay. So now if you do Control KD, everything will be pretty, and you can. Okay. So now, the first thing is that we've been able to do getters in Visual Studio 2015 and C#6. So what that would do is there at the get, if you can next to that, if you put a lambda, an equal greater than for a lambda.
Yep.
And then just return, get rid of everything down to the name, just underscore name.
Yep.
You don't need the
you
word
don't need the
return.
return even. Wow.
Just underscore name. Okay, so there we've got that one. Okay,
Nice.
Now that's a context in which you couldn't do it in C#6.
Right.
This is an addition right there. Okay, so for the setter, can you put 1?
Yes.
And then can you say underscore name equals value?
Like so?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And oh, good. The squiggle went away. I was going to say, what's that squiggle for? I was going to say there should be no squiggle there. Okay. What do you think about that?
Yes. I think it's good. Like it certainly cuts out a lot of the I guess the ceremonial code that you have to put in to get these things working.
Right.
So
again, what we're getting here, the step that C#7 takes, is to let C# drift into the background, let your ideas, let the point of your code come center stage, and clearly that's what's happening right here.
Absolutely.
So the last thing I want to show you in this section is that what if you want to throw an exception if value is null?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. So this is a little bit to get your head around, at least it was for me. I think about statements and expressions a lot. What's the difference between them? And just to start that conversation, line 13 is the lambda there is a lambda expression. It is returning a value. There's no return, this is an expression, okay? On line 14, that's actually a statement. It's a lambda statement, okay, which is, we don't use quite as often, but that's when you have the curly brackets and you have to use the word return. So a throw has always been a statement.
Yes.
Okay, what if it could be an expression? That would be weird.
It would be really weird, actually, yeah.
All right, okay. So after value, the way I want to do this is just the simplest way. Right before the semicolon, put a double question mark. Okay, so that's saying that if that is a null, do what follows.
Yes.
Okay, so it normally is used to say if it's null, return this other thing.
Yes.
So if it's null, return 0. If it's null, return an empty string. So here what I want you to say is throw new invalid operation. And we talked earlier about getting that. You can do it however you want, but yeah, you can just get that out there.
I like typing.
All right, you're happy. Okay, now wait a minute, I have a squiggle. Why do we have a squiggle? Why do I have a squiggle? Position on that squiggle. Do you need a system? Can you hit Control period and get using system in there?
Yeah.
Woo! I was going to say, I thought I knew the syntax pretty well. No.
Nice.
Okay, that's kind of funny looking, isn't it?
That is a little funny looking.
You know, I'm interested to see whether the community embraces this approach, okay? Because you can imagine what this otherwise would look like. You'd need the long form of the setter. You'd need an if statement. And you'd check to see null, and then you'd be throwing that null. It'd be about 8 lines of code.
Yep.
Now, is this a shortcut like a ternary that some people kind of aren't sure about? Or is this a shortcut that people are going to really embrace? And I don't know yet. There are some certain situations where this is required now. It was done because it has to be there for some situations around the way the cases, the switch works, and the future match. If we get a match, assuming we get a match, that the way those work, we need a way to throw as an expression to go so that the throw operation can fit into places that need an expression, like this one. Right. That's an expression. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we use it widely or if it is a niche player only for those things where it absolutely has to be.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. You know, I like the condensed syntax, and it reads well. I mean, it really. If I read it, I can see what it means. I'm just not sure I could come up with it on my own. You know?
So if you're going to be typing and not wonder what am I going to do here. So again, it's something that either we're going to become familiar with. It's going to be second nature, like the fact that value is what you assign to a setter. Okay, so there's like no way you knew that until you got taught that.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So you know, we'll see where that one goes.
Yeah. We'll see. But like I said, it reads very well, so I don't think there's an issue there.
Right. Okay. So I want to come back in just a minute and talk about some of the features some of the tools that are in Visual Studio, some of the things that come along in the box that we get for free.